A boy named Sakuta is just minding his own business in the library, probably pretending to study like every other high schooler when he notices something strange. A tall, beautiful girl dressed in a seductive bunny costume is walking between the bookshelves. Her outfit is impossible to ignore, and neither is the fact that Sakuta cannot look away. At first, he figures she must be filming some sort of drama. After all, the girl is none other than Mai Sakurajima, a famous actress and school legend. But then it hits him, no one else sees her. Not one person flinches, stares, or even glances her way. Sakuta wonders if he's hallucinating or if something supernatural is going on. Still, being the type who has nothing to lose and way too much curiosity, he says her name out loud. She looks at him, clearly not happy. And just like that, he's pulled into something far stranger than homework or high school drama. Sakuta Azusagawa is a student who doesn't have many friends. Most of his classmates avoid him because of a strange event in the past, now known as the hospitalization incident. People believe that Sakuta was responsible for sending 3 students to the hospital, even though the full story was never revealed. Because of this rumor, he keeps a low profile and stays out of trouble. When school starts again, he sees her once more. The sight makes him even more curious. Later, he brings up her name in front of his friend Kunimi. Sakuta only wants to learn more about her, but Kunimi misunderstands and thinks Sakuta has a crush on her. To him, Mai and Sakuta are from completely different worlds. He thinks there's no chance someone like Sakuta could ever get close to her. But Sakuta explains he isn't in love with her, he just finds it strange that someone so famous is always alone and ignored. Hoping to understand, Sakuta asks older students in his club about Mai. He learns that she took a break from acting after junior high and only transferred into their school later. By then, everyone had already formed their friend groups and she struggled to fit in. For 2 years, she went almost completely unnoticed, like she didn't even exist. This reminds Sakuta of his own situation and he feels a quiet connection to her. After school, he runs into Mai again at the train station. There, he notices a young boy secretly trying to take pictures of her. Sakuta immediately steps in and stops him. Mai thanks him for helping and shows her appreciation. She also brings up a story she once saw in the news about Sakuta. It said he was violent and had badly hurt 3 classmates. However, Mai doesn't believe that version. She reasons that if Sakuta had really done something wrong, the school or the police would have punished him. Sakuta admits she's right. He knows the truth but understands that others still see him as dangerous. Tired of trying to explain, he simply accepts their judgment. After this conversation, Sakuta begins to feel differently toward Mai. He starts to care and his curiosity deepens. He asks her why she was wearing a bunny outfit in the library. Mai explains that she started acting at just 6 years old, playing the lead in a popular morning drama. Her fame grew quickly and at first she felt proud. But over time, the pressure became overwhelming. Everywhere she went, people recognized her. Eventually, Mai wished to live in a world where nobody knew her. To her surprise, that wish came true. She recalls visiting an aquarium where not a single person noticed her. At a cafe, the server didn't even hear her no matter how clearly she spoke. Fear took over and she rushed home in shock. Later, to test it, she wore a flashy bunny costume and walked through public spaces, yet still no one reacted. Sakuta listens carefully and suspects she might be experiencing something called adolescent syndrome, a mysterious condition that appears during teenage years and gives people strange, almost supernatural experiences. To explain further, he invites her to his home where he shows her scars on his body. He doesn't remember how they were caused, but the wounds are undeniably real. Mai touches them, confirming they aren't fake. Sakuta then shares why he believes in adolescent syndrome. His younger sister Keed went through something similar. She was left out by classmates just because she didn't reply to messages quickly. What began as a small issue escalated into cruel bullying. Keed started receiving awful messages and even threats. Fear of others consumed her, and though no one ever physically harmed her, strange injuries began to appear on her skin, cuts and bruises without any clear cause. It was as if her emotions had turned into real pain. Her condition only improved after she stopped using her phone and withdrew completely from school. From that moment on, she stayed inside their apartment with only her cat to keep her company. And when Sakuta found out what Kuta was going through, he felt helpless. Then, mysteriously, adolescent syndrome affected him as well, leaving 3 cuts across his chest. The pain was so severe that he ended up in the hospital. While Ma was still trying to process Sakuta's story, Kuta suddenly walked into his room. It was a rare moment. Kuta hadn't stepped outside or met anyone new in over 2 years. Shy and frightened of strangers, she quietly greeted Ma, then quickly left the room without another word. Sakuta explained that Kuta's condition was closely linked to the internet. Her symptoms only appeared when she was connected to the online world. By staying away from it, she could avoid the pain and the strange injuries. Because she rarely watched television or followed the media, she didn't even recognize Ma at all. Sakuta noticed that Ma and Kutta actually shared something in common. Both suffered in silence, and both had been ignored in different ways. He thought the best way to help Ma was to encourage her to return to acting. If she stepped back into the spotlight, people would notice her again. He believed she still loved her work and hoped she would find her place once more. But Ma didn't take his words kindly. To her, it felt like Sakuta was pretending to understand when he really didn't. His suggestions sounded careless and completely out of touch with her true feelings. After that conversation, Ma stopped coming to school. Days went by and Sakuta heard nothing from her. Feeling uneasy, he searched her name online. And what he found left him shocked and full of regret. Countless hurtful stories and rumors about Ma filled the screen. Reading them, he realized that her time in the entertainment world wasn't filled with joy, but with pain and pressure. He felt guilty for pushing her back toward something that had already caused her so much suffering. For the next 2 weeks, there was still no sign of Ma. Worried about what might be happening, Sakuta turned to Raya, his friend and the leader of the science club. Raya was full of strange theories, especially about how the world worked. She explained a concept from quantum mechanics, the idea that something only exists when it is being observed. To test this, he went to a local bakery and asked the clerk if they knew a girl named Ma. When the clerk said no, Sakuta's worst fear was confirmed. Guessing that Ma might try to see him, he rushed back home. When he arrived, he found her already waiting at the door. She had been standing there for a long time. Ma told him that fewer and fewer people had been able to see her over the past 2 weeks. She even struggled to buy food since shopkeepers didn't notice her. If you loved this anime story and want to know what happens next, drop a comment below and I'll make part 2 just for you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.